They've had bad luck. They're a team that never seems to be able to finish it off. They're always in there at every game. They always play everybody tough. This might be their year.
Well, the Czechs, consistently good for my money. Petr Bríza, Svoboda, good goaltenders. Hasek, of course, just been knocked out of the playoffs with the Chicago Blackhawks. It'll be interesting to see if he's back. Leo Gudas, Reznicek, Serban, one of my favorite defensemen. Petr Russell, it's good to see him back on the side. I remember picking him 2 years ago to be a big star. He went off to Italy for a while, put his head in the sand, but he's back now, seriously looking to play hockey.
Absolutely. A lot of talent up front. Zemlika, Lubina, Kolnick. These guys can all put the puck in the net. Robert Reichel, good one to have back. The star, one of the stars from last year, played with Calgary this year. Robert Hollick, of course, saw action with the Hartford Whalers. The Czechs are happy to have them back in the lineup.
Yuri Kuchera, Tupal also can put the puck in the net. So it's going to be an interesting contest. I'm sure that the Czechs will not be overawed by the situation. They're going to be underdogs when it comes to crowd noise, I'm sure. But they're going to play like they've played in competitions in the past. They really do string it together on the nights. We're waiting for the teams to get their acts together and come back out here. The crowd slowly filling up here in this 12,000 seat stadium. It is a magnificent stadium, and you can see the Finns anxiously awaiting for their team to come out. Some excellent restrooms, some great restaurants here, and the Finns really will get behind their team. They feel that this is their team, and this is their year.
A lot of people are ruling the Czechs out, saying they've lost too much to the NHL. I don't think that's true. You can see by that lineup, there's a lot of talent there. Of course, Ruzicka is still playing with the Boston Bruins. Jaeger, one of the top NHL rookies with Pittsburgh. They had great seasons, but this Czech team is going to be there, Paul.
Matikainen, the coach, will have his work cut out for him. A lot of the fans are expecting him to go for gold this year, so the pressure really is on him. As we look at the live pictures now from Finland, Jari Kurri in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This guy has been around. As you said, he's a real master, isn't he? He's played with the best.
Absolutely. Wayne Gretzky, teammate for years. There's an interesting story floating around the NHL that he will not be going back to Italy. There's big talk that there will be a massive trade going on, and he'll either be with Steve Yzerman in Detroit next year, or there's going to be a big deal to try and get him to go to Los Angeles Kings and play with Gretzky again.
Jyrki Luma is back from the Canucks, and of course, Christian Ruutu from the Buffalo Sabres, 27-year-old star of the Sabres, knocked out of the playoffs, and the Finns will be wearing their familiar white and blue jerseys as they get set for this opening face-off. Ketterer, number 30, gets the tap on the pads from Taco. TPS Turku goalie there, 23 years old at the other end of the rink. Number 1, as expected, Petr Bríza. Bríza, so talented, often overlooked when Dominik Hasek was around, but Hasek just out of the picture right now in Chicago. And so Bríza gets us a chance to start. Lynch, the Canadian referee, will look after this one. So it's Finland against Czechoslovakia, the Group A tournament. The World Championships coming to you from Finland. Playing from right to left are the Finns. And that goes deep into Finnish territory. And the fans will get right behind the Finns right from the very outset of this game. And watch for precision passing from both teams as Jari Kurri gets his first touch. Kurri takes it in over the blue and taps it forward. The Czechs will look for the quick break. They love to thread the eye of the needle as that pops forward now. Coming up, Slegger passing that forward. The shot, it's pumped into the corner. This is a magnificent stadium in Finland, and it really is ideal for watching ice hockey. Vlak pumps that back into the corner. Dolana right out front, and the net is off its moorings, but there's a holding call right in front of the net, as you can see the referee's arm up in the air.
Great reaction from the crowd. The Czechs, of course, so dangerous around the front of that goal, keeping the puck in at the blue line, applying a lot of pressure around that net. Kuchera going over for a rest. Good first shift for him to get himself into this one.
No score here in the opening seconds of this game.
The Finns want to be very careful. You cannot let the Czechs have a power play. They move the puck so well.
Villesiren out there. Let's take a look at this again.
You see the play coming to the front of the goal. The net has been dislodged. Player in front, number 9, Siren, got the grab on his man. Lynch right on the call.
So Siren, who was out there, as I was about to say, for just a few seconds, got the holding penalty, so he'll sit for 2.
Well, you don't want to leave Kuchera hanging around in front of your goal.
Great job by Gudas as he kept that in. Dolezal backpedals, gets it back to the defenseman number 6, Medrick. That bounces into the neutral zone as Medrick gets it over to Leo Gudas. Fired all the way along the boards. And the players hear the whistle, but they don't understand why.
They're going to have a hard time hearing that whistle with this crowd. They're really lively, and they're on their feet trying to get this team going.
Pentti Matikainen chewing on the gum. Knows, as I said before, the pressure is on. Face off in the neutral zone. The Czechs with the man advantage. The crowd well and truly behind the Finns here. A lot of support for Czechoslovakia as that's dumped deep. It trickles into the neutral zone. Gudas will slow it down and bring it out. Tupal taken out of the play. Gudas spun along the boards. That eventually trickles into the slot area. It's not away as the Finns try to get it out of the zone as they kill off this penalty. Tupal again. Over on the left. Shot in by Dolezal. Staviana is a last-minute cancellation for the Czechs. The big number 16 didn't make the starting lineup. I'm sure he'll be back later on in the tournament. Czechoslovakia now with Dolezal pumping it up on the left wing. Gary Curry is out there to help kill off this penalty as that goes back to the point and punch back into the hash marks. The Czechs now spinning. Hollick, his pass is intercepted nicely behind the net, and the Finns shoot it down.
Much to the crowd's delight. They're going to be right on top of this, urging this Finnish team to kill the penalty off and strike first.
Reznicek slams on the brakes, tips that one forward over to the far side. Kuchina takes the shot. Lubina with Hollick. Hollick now has Lubina behind the cage, trying to get the shot away. It comes back. And that shot from Reznicek took a deflection as it goes all the way down the ice. 1 second on the penalty. Serban tried to get it out. The Finns keep it in. Selan, the shot is high. Numanen behind the goal. Slager to the hash marks, but he runs into Siren. Siren a good job of forechecking as he finds himself back on the ice. Keskinen doing a good job out there. It's starting to get physical in the corners as the Czechs take the pressure to the other end of the rink.
Well, good job by the Czechs. They wanted to get a change. There you see the players heading to the bench. Fresh legs.
Henriksen fires it in as far as the blue. And Czechoslovakia maintain possession of that, bringing it forward into the neutral zone. That bobbles off a stick. Henriksen shadows Reichel, but the whistle blows and we'll have a face-off as Repa gets set to do the honors in the neutral zone.
Good look at Robert Reichel. Young player, number 27, had a good season with Calgary. Through 62 games in the season, he had 16 goals and 18 assists, 34 points. It's a good season for him. One of the stars from this Czech team of last year.
Finland firing that all the way down the ice. Christian Ruutu along the hash marks, ties up 2 guys, eventually loses control as Petr Rossel got it up to the far side. Rossel breaks for the front of the net, is taken out. Reichel tried to lead him with that pass, but Rossel was manhandled on his way towards the goal. The break now is on. The long shot coming from Peltomaa, deflected into the corner. Neither goalie really seeing anything of that rubber in the first period so far. Slager trying to tip that forward. Peltoma. Kivela takes the shot. Wide of the target. That goes along the boards as Suominen skated after it and was eventually taken out of the play. Block. Can only get that into the neutral zone. Helminen now for Finland. Taps it forward. Picked up by Suominen. Suominen on the right wing, looking for someone to pass to. Drops it back in the slot. Some good stuff by Dolana. Dolana now breaking forward. Dolana passing that forward. Hooking all over the place there. Luna. Erkki Luna. Who would probably get away with that in the National Hockey League. Didn't succeed this time.
Well, not a lot of doubt about this one. You can see 14 Kuchera. He's in with a great opportunity to score. Luma did the only thing he could do. Pull him down, take the hooking call.
So the Finns not taking any chances when that man gets near the net. They're dragging him down any way they can. It leaves them a man short as Kuchera does the honors for Czechoslovakia. The face-off deep in Finnish territory. Kuchera very adept at winning these face-offs, and he just won that one. To Slegger, a shot to the side of the net. Slegger will get the return pass. He returns the favor just wide of the target as Serban picks it up. Looking for Kuchera and finds him. Kuchera stick handling slowly back to Slegger. To Kuchera, to the top of the circle to the far side. The Finns setting up the box, looking for Kuchera. Gets it right in front, intercepted nicely. Nieminen taps it out of the zone.
The Czechs can be dangerous. They like to work the puck into that slot area, try and get a shot off.
35 seconds gone on the penalty. A good interception there by Järvenpää. Some good forechecking. He'll kill this one off. Gets it right in front to Curry. Curry takes the shot. Some slack defense as Brise came up with a save, and the fans love it when this guy touches the puck.
Well, Jari Kurri won't waste any time. Quickly snap the shot off. Great stuff in the corner from 16. Järvenpää sees Kurri in front. Brise did well just to hold that between his legs. There you see Jari Kurri. Puck's off the skate, immediately shot toward the goal. Brise just coming across, did well to hang on.
Quick release there from the big man. Brise cut down the angle nicely, so the face-off in Czechoslovakian territory. Still the Czechs with the man advantage here in the first period. No score. The first game of this Group A World Championship final. Ruutu and Tupal doing the honors for their respective teams. Tupal over the blue, still is Tupal, drops it back. Gudas to the far side, punched into the corner. They've got the man advantage. Gudas looking for it, tees up, takes the shot, and that's high and over the net. To Omisto, shoots that all the way down, and Gudas will have to go deep. The Canadian referee signaling tripping on the play.
Well, the Finnish crowd had already made that play for Dave Lynch. They were yelling and screaming. Some very aggressive work by the Finnish forward along the boards. He pushed the puck down past the defenseman number 6, Medrick. Here you see 15 along the boards. Dolezal, he's forced to trip him, take the penalty.
So it's the Czechs' turn to have a man in the box.
Well, when you're on the power play in your offensive zone, that's not a very good penalty to have to take.
Keskinen loses out. Volek gets it over to the far side. Slegger pops it around, and the Czechs throw it out nicely. Lubina taken out of the play with 28 seconds left on the Finnish penalty. Volek squeezed out in the neutral zone, and that's one thing that the Finns do nicely as Salam picks it up. They're good checkers in the neutral zone. They don't let the play get too far down the ice. They stop it before it starts. The pass into the center zone coming from Slegger. 5 seconds now on the Finnish penalty.
Finns seem very aggressive. The crowd is really spurring them on. They're going to have a chance to show their own power play in 5 seconds when they become back to full strength themselves. They've got to stay out of the penalty box. This is a great opportunity for them to try and get that first strike. This crowd will go wild if they score the first goal.
You can see there as we look at the Finnish bench that Kari Tako, the 28-year-old netminder, who spent some time in the NHL with Minnesota, is working the door. And we know we've said that before. Luma getting set to jump on the ice. The Finns are back at full strength. Goaltenders like to work that door to keep themselves busy. The break now on. Luma shoots wide of the target. Curry goes in. Curry will pick it up with Luma there. Well, Luma will be disappointed at that one as Curry let that one go behind the net. It comes back to Curry along the boards. He can't control it. Serba squeezes that against the woodwork. Curry tries to give it a kick. Jorvenpa's there to help out Curry. Serba sees that one go in front of the cage. Tapped away by Reichel. It's not far enough. The Finns now with the pressure on. Curry's right in front. The shot doesn't come as that's right in front. Serban spins around and can't get the handle on it. Some good stuff from the Finns, and we were talking about the goalie. They love to work that door, don't they?
Yes, it keeps them into the game. They get to cheer the team on, and it keeps them from sitting down and getting stiff in case they're called upon to go into the goal themselves.
Medrick to the far side. The shot there coming from Black is too wide and too hard as it bounces all the way down into the neutral zone. The Czechs regroup as they fire that puck around. Finland went through a 30-second spell there of some good stuff as Christian Ruutu hammers his man into the boards. 2 seconds now as Dolezal steps back on the ice for Czechoslovakia. The teams are back at full strength.
Well, the Czechs lucky there to overcome that one. Now we're back to even strength. Let's see if somebody can pop this first goal.
Peltoma squeezed out of the play. Gudas getting physical along the boards, gets a stick up a bit. Play allowed to continue as the Czechs bring it forward. Ruutu. Christian Ruutu sees an opening, decides to flip it up on the right wing. Dolezal is there to bat it down. Peltoma lost control of it, and that's pumped forward by Dolezal. Tupal now on the backhand side. Tupal slams on the brakes, bounces it off the boards, and gets it behind the goal. The Czechs are buzzing all around. The chance for the shot perhaps from the point. Not a good effort there from Sleger as he tried to get it on the forehand shot. This time the backhand shot comes from Musil, František Musil, and that's wide of the net. Sleger keeps it in. Tupal loses control and Finland bring it out. A good interception by Dolezal. Right in front, the shot. The save is there. Ketterer came way out of his goal, cut down the angle, and that was appreciated.
Well, Redick Tupal had been out there a long time, number 18. You can see a very sloppy pass by the Finnish defense. Good effort by the Czech forward to push it over. There's number 18, Tupal. Too tired to really do a lot with it. You can see him bending over trying to catch his wind here. There's the shot. Didn't really take a good look. Angle well taken away by Ketterer. Good save. Both teams are desperately trying to get fresh bodies out on that ice.
23-year-old Ketterer getting involved in the action here in the first period. Luma pumps that past Numminen. Numminen and Luma on the D here as Kivella, the backhand shot right in front. Suominen got a piece of that. Volek on his own, drops it over on the left wing. The pass intended for Robert Hollick was too far. Volek behind the net, being double teamed. Kivella doing a good job on him with Luma. That gets back to the point. The shot comes deflected away as Reznicek got a piece of that, and that eventually is stopped by the linesman in the neutral zone. Serban. The rink-wide pass over to Reznicek. The long shot. Ketterer steers that into the corner, and Berta tries to bring it along the boards. The Finns using the complete ice surface out there. Forechecking from Nieminen. Smashes his man into the boards, and there's the indication from the official. Cross-checking is the call. Nieminen just a bit too aggressive.
Well, good forechecking is one thing, but Nieminen really takes him from behind here. Could have been a serious injury. That player really crashed into the boards. Nieminen will sit too for cross-checking. The Czechs with another opportunity for the power play.
Let's look at this again. Both hands on the stick off the ice. Well, both Richard and I are shaking our heads. Yes, no.
It's a penalty.
That's confirmed by Richard Beaupre, so the guy will sit for 2 minutes, and the Czechs will have the man advantage. Czechoslovakia bringing it forward. The pass too far as Hannu Virta gets the opportunity and takes it to shoot it down the ice. Riese. Medrick. Tapping that forward. Reichel fakes the shot, drops it back. Leo Gudas. Gudas looking for the return pass. He gets it, winds up, takes the shot. That's kicked away. Gets as far as the top of the circle. Curry shoots that down the ice. And Gudas will go back once again. Leo Gudas spends a lot of time on the ice, finds himself on the power plays, killing off penalties as that's delivered to Kuchera. Reichel taps it forward, intended for Slegger. The long pass up on the wing, Dolana. And Ketterer makes that look easy.
Finn's doing a good job of not letting the Czechs set it up and control it in their zone. Gudas, with a couple chances from the point, was forced to have to pass it back down low. They didn't really get the shot that they wanted. There's a look at the last one. On the power play, probably should have just spun a little circle and controlled that puck, but Dolana elected to shoot. There's nobody there for the rebound. It's an easy save for the goalie. They've got to get control of the puck.
Kuchera loses it this time. The hard shot off the plexi by Hannu Henriksson bounces deep, and the Finns now take control. Tumisto taken out of the play. Play is allowed to continue, much to the displeasure of the Finnish fans. That shot is wide as number 23 Dolana put his hands up as if to celebrate. He thought it went in the net.
I think that if that had been a goal, this crowd would have erupted. They were screaming and yelling for a penalty to be called on the other end. Musil, number 12 for the Czech team, had really taken his man out. The crowd wasn't happy with that. Had that been a goal, that would have created total chaos in this arena.
Both teams changing their lines here in the first period. Still no score. The Czechs and the Finns have had their power play opportunities, unable to capitalize. The Finns still with that man in the box. The pressure still on their goal. A long shot from Medrick, steered easily by Ketterer. 5 seconds on the penalty. That's right in front. Cleared away at the last minute by Numminen. The Finns back at full strength now. The Czechs still with the pressure on. Dolezal in the corner, running out of places to go. He held on to it too long, and the Finns break. Flipped up onto the right wing. Utila behind the goal. That's right in front. The loose puck is there. Oh, and that trickled right in front of the open goal. The loose puck is still there. Suominen banged away at it, and he couldn't put it in the open net.
Well, Petro Briza was lucky to get away with that one. The Finns nearly had that first goal.
Suominen again tries his luck as he spun out in the corner. Tristan Ruutu goes in to help out. Reznicek really was roughing along the boards. And this is the kind of thing I like to see anyway. I like to see it physical, not dirty, but physical. Usually when you get the European teams together, they have a tendency to lay off the bodywork. But that's far from the case here.
Close call for Suominen. just about put that one away. He had help with Nieminen in front of the goal. It comes back to Suominen. As he gets up, he's got another chance for it. Breeza doesn't have a clue where it is. Great opportunity. As you said, Paul, the body checking, aggressive play, it's all good as long as it's clean. You've got a Canadian ref, a Canadian linesman, and an American linesman. They're going to let that kind of hockey be played.
Peltoma with Christian Ruutu. Ruutu picks it up, being squeezed out of the play there by Reznicek. Ruutu again hanging on to that, takes the shot from a sharp angle. Serban will come to it and pick it up. Peltoma drops it back to the D, but that's intercepted. The long shot. Ketterer squeezes that one from Robert Hollick and puts it away. The Czechs pick up the loose puck. That's still not away, but this time the Finns bring it out of the zone. Finland, both teams trying to get a change on the fly. Ruutu trying something fancy with poke check just inside the blue line as Robert Hollick brings it up. Hollick is spun out of the play. Ketterer has trouble with that one, but there's no one there to pick up the rebound. Kivella was looking for that pass. It didn't come. Numminen. Teppo Numminen, the long pass, too far for anyone. Breeza taps that along the boards. Kivella taken out of the play nicely. Kivella brings his man down. And Musil eventually gets it as far as the blue line, but not out. Helminen shoots it back in. Slager will try his luck now. That tips out over the plexi, and that's about the only way, on that occasion anyway, the Czechs were going to get it out of the zone.
The Czechs had half of the line changed up. The other half were waiting to get off. The defense was looking to change. Good opportunity to get a whistle. That's just what they did.
No score here in the first period. Finland against Czechoslovakia. An excellent crowd here to support both teams. Slager, a long pass, knocked down at the blue line, and the Finns coming back in force, looking for the pass to Curry. Järvenpää tried to get it out front. That was intercepted nicely, and the Czechs are breaking down these passes as Petr Russell takes on his man. Järvenpää tapping that forward. Curry slams on the brakes and backhands it into Breeza. Gudas along the boards. Again, it's kept in, and Gudas picks it up. Slager. His pass takes a deflection into the crowd, and again, we'll see a line change. And there's Petr Russell, who spent the season with Fassa in Italy. And, well, this is the Finnish wave. So good to see so early on in the tournament. Usually it takes a while for the spectators and the players to get into it, but they're starting right from the beginning. And it could be an indication of great things to come.
Absolutely. Everybody's paid their money, and they're certainly enjoying themselves. The opening game, and they're really on top of this one.
Kuchera shot that one in. Numminen gets the touch and gets it on the boards. Suominen back to Numminen into the far corner. The Finns not under much pressure as the break is on now. Coming in way out of his net was Breeza. Salon had the break there. Breeza way out of the cage. And Timo Jutila is arguing with the referee.
Oh, the Finns not happy, but Leo Gudas deserves a big pat on the back. Came back to help Breeza as he was caught out of that net. Leo Gudas never seems to leave the ice. Made a big defensive play there and probably saved the goal.
Nevishly, the Czechoslovakian coach, looking concerned as he paces behind that bench. Keskinen will do the honors with Tupal. Trickles out over the blue and goes into Finnish territory. Teppo Numminen gets it up along the boards. Serban batted it forward, and Tupal goes after it. Still kept into the zone by the Czechs. Suominen dropping that back, and Finland now with 5 men coming forward. Bringing it up over the line. Keskinen bounces that off the boards. That squirts by Salana. Kept in by Henriksen. Czechoslovakia now on the break. Serban takes it off the big defenseman, backhands it right to Ketterer's doorstep. There's no one there to pick anything up at all. And so Marcus Ketterer decides to hang on and call for a face-off.
The Czechs so good at breaking out quick, moving the puck wide. Very important that the Finns back check well all night and pick up their wingers. So far, doing a great job. Every time there's a check in their zone, there's a Finnish player attached right to them. They've got to keep that up. Matty Kanan, of course, I'm sure he's told the boys well ahead of time, let's shut them down and do our job defensively, and that's just what they're doing.
The face-off in Finnish territory, as that comes back to the point, the long shot. Musil getting the wood to that, but nowhere near the net as that's tipped out into the neutral zone. Intended there for Peltoma, knocked off his stick. Lubina gets that to the far side. Musil goes after it. And eventually Henriksen will pick it up for Finland as he gets it up along the hash marks. The Czechs getting away with that trip there as that trickles into Ketterer. Finland now back on the attack. Ruutu, the long pass intercepted nicely. Lubina gets it right out front. The shot, the rebound. Volek got a piece of that. And again, Ketterer had to be sharp. The Czechs have had more shots on goal here in the first period. Petrorasso, nice little pass, a bit too hard for Lubina on the far side as the Finns now come back on the attack. Kivela goes into the corner against Gudas. Zemlichka getting away from Kivela, gets it up on the hash marks. The return pass, Russell couldn't see it, that went all the way down. Zemlichka is tied up, taken out of the play. Still no score here in the first period. Numa brings it forward. The Finns now with so many men forward, that shot batted down at the blue line. Russell will try his luck on the right wing. Russell going after the right wing, or going after the puck on the right wing as he had a stick between his legs. Not an easy thing to do.
Good defensive play. The Finn just stood him up, stayed right in his face. No place for him to go.
Pass going all the way down the ice as Sinin taps it forward. Kuchera forechecking. Intercepted now just on the Finn side of the blue line, breaking down on goal. Some good stuff there by number 15, Nieminen. Tapped as far as the blue line. That trickles out, and all the Finns will have to come out and start all over again. Siren gets that forward. Finland back on the attack with Curry as he tips that in. Intercepted nicely. Libor Dolana on the left wing. Dolana dropping it back. Curry will be there to pick it up. Offside is the call.
Well, it shows you the true value of Jari Kurri. The puck was taken off the Finns in the Czech zone. He's one of the first four checkers back, and he strips the puck off the Czech attacker at his own blue line.
So lots of action on the Finnish bench with Pentti Mattikena handing out words of wisdom as we approach the last minute in this period. Utila firing that into Czechoslovakian territory. It's still kept in. Coming deep, Musil dropping it back. The long shot wide of the target again, and how many times have I said that? The Czechs, maybe between periods in the dressing room, will take some shooting practice. Numminen squeezing his man, Tupal along the boards, keeping him out of the play. And that goes deep. And we'll have a face-off.
Vital part of any period, less than a minute to go. Neither team wants to have a goal scored on them now. A face-off in this situation is so important. You can see both teams are carefully trying to line up who it is that they want out there, who's going to cover who. They don't want to give the Czechs a good shot on goal.
Timo Peltoma Plays with Tempera. Getting set for that face-off. That trickles to the top of the circle and eventually out of the zone. Pushed in by Medrick. The Czechs still onside as that goes out now. Peltima looking to get a shot away as we have 8 seconds on the clock. That's right in front. It's right in the skate. It's still away. Ruutu was right there with 1 second. There goes the buzzer. Another opportunity goes begging for the Finns. They've had 2 opportunities with the puck right in the goal crease and couldn't capitalize. Czechoslovakia 0, Finland 0. And we're right at the end of the first period. We're going to go into the second period after the teams take a break. They're going off for this well-deserved break. A good period, but the Czechs having most of their action out there, didn't they?
A good chance for both teams to get their legs, loosen up, get involved. Of course, the crowd's going to be a big factor throughout this tournament. They're lively. They really are up for good hockey, and they're going to get it.
Well, the fans really have enjoyed this one. They're going to take a short break now. We're going to take a short break. In a moment, we'll be back with the second period, so join us then. Right now, it's Czechoslovakia 0, Finland 0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Finland. The score here, Czechoslovakia 0, Finland 0. The first game of the Group A World Championship tournament. And what a game it's been. The Czechs, I feel, so far have outplayed the Finns, but the Finns have had 2 golden opportunities, haven't they?
I think the Finns have had the better of the scoring opportunities as far as hitting the net, pulling the right shot when they should. Luma, the big defenseman, unfortunate on the breakaway.
Well, let's take a look now, Richard, at the teams in the competition. We've got 8 teams here. The Soviet Union, of course, last year's winners, have taken part in 33 World Championships and have collected 33 medals. Not bad, huh? 22 gold, 7 silver, and 4 bronze. I can't think of one reason why anything should change this year. These guys are magic, and they've still got some great players from last year.
Absolutely. They've got all the strength. They've got players playing all over the world. Sweden, runners-up in 1990. They'll definitely be a threat this time around. They've got a strong passing game and play great positional hockey. Mats Naslund, Mats Sundin, Per Eklund. What can you say about these guys? They're so quick, so great to watch. A lot of NHL experience. It could take them all the way.
So the Swedes will be knocking on the door, I'm sure. Look at that impressive record. The Czechoslovakian side out there on the ice today, of course. They captured bronze in Switzerland last year, and they have an excellent chance of doing better in Finland this year. Many of their big stars are still in the NHL in the playoffs, but their team is packed with a nice blend of youth and experience that could just do the job.
Absolutely. They've always had a strong team. Their players are getting worldwide recognition now. They're always there. The Canadians, out of the medals last year, haven't struck gold since 1961. That seems hard to believe. 13 NHL teams. They're in the playoffs now. Of course, the crowd wants Gretzky, Lemieux, Mark Messier over here, but they're still in the playoffs at home.
Well, the Canadians haven't won since 61, but the Americans haven't won since 60. They really are hungry this year. They've got some excellent goaltending. They've got strong defense. And the forwards this year can put the puck in the net. It'll be interesting to see who comes over when the teams are knocked out of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Absolutely. There's players coming from 2 or 3 different leagues. They're all going to come together and try and put things right for the Americans. Finns, believe it or not, have never won a medal. This could be their year. They're at home. They've got strength. They've got depth. They've got good world-class ice hockey players, and they're always tough. The great Jari Kurri, of course, one to watch.
Jari Kurri will be the motivator, I'm sure. In 1990, Germany left it to the very last minute to avoid relegation against Norway. And look, you'd think they won the World Championship, but that was them staying up in the league. They're going to struggle this year, but they have the personnel to be spoilers, don't they?
They always play tough. The Germans never give up. They always seem to give everybody a rough game, and they've got a lot of heart.
The Swiss, newly promoted from Pool B, they have some good players, but I don't feel they can go the distance. Like the Germans, though, they can be spoilers. They can upset the big boys on the big occasion.
Well, they've had their moments. 85 had a silver in the A. Not to be counted out. I would question their depth. Can they go all the way with the likes of the Russians?
Well, it remains to be seen what they can do. We're waiting for the teams to come back on the ice. They're still minutes away from the second period. We're going to take another break right now. Join us in a moment when we come back from some highlights of the first period. Join us then. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the second period of this game between Czechoslovakia and Finland. Still no score. We are live from Turku, Finland, and the Czechs will play from right to left. We're looking at Ketterer, the goaltender for Finland. And Richard, we were talking between the periods as we see the Czechs come out now that this is a great opportunity for youngsters not only to play for their national side, but it's also a great opportunity for them to be seen by NHL scouts, isn't it?
Well, it's a great marketing tool. The Czechs, of course, found that out last year. The big contracts are in the NHL, a lot of media, a lot of crowds, big money chances. Jaromir Jagr, one of the top NHL rookies this year from this Czech team of last year, 23 goals during the regular season. He's with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're still playing. A chance for a Stanley Cup maybe for the young lad.
And he was picked up right after the series ended in Switzerland last year. And it's also a golden opportunity for the boys to come back from the NHL and show their home fans just exactly what they've learned.
Oh, absolutely, and it's good experience. You're traveling all over the world. It's great for the youngsters. It's super incentive for kids coming up through, not only to play, as you said, for their home country, but the opportunity of going abroad and having the opportunity to have everything paid for and play the sport that they love.
An excellent atmosphere here in T-Pon Stadium as the teams get set, and Dave Lynch, the Canadian referee, makes his way towards the face-off circle at center ice. Look at this magnificent arena. Quite a nice place to play hockey. They talk about great ice rinks in the long shot, great ice rinks in the NHL, but there are some magnificent stadiums in Europe as well.
They're well supported. A lot of the companies, of course, you see sponsorship around the rinks. They really take part and they get involved. They get good numbers at the games for the big teams all through Europe.
So Pentti Matikena will have spoken to the boys and told them exactly what they have to do. On the Finnish side, Kuchera losing that out. Curry batted it back. Virta gets it along the boards. And Musil will get there first. The Czechs with Musil trying to find Kuchera. He eventually gets a handle on it. A long shot coming from Petr Vlach is offside by a hair. So we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. Here's a good shot of the offside. The pass coming back. The player at the top of your screen way ahead of the puck, and of course when you approach that blue line, the puck must be the first thing to go over the blue line. If a player precedes it, then it's offside. So Repa with Tupal, Gudas now. Numminen along the boards, picked up by Salan. Salan handing that off to Keskinen. The bouncing shot, not one that a goalie likes to see, but Griza handled that with ease. The tip on the left wing, Dolezal spun out of the play. Kolnick goes deep and gives it back to the defense. The return pass taken out nicely by Suominen. Numminen now. The Finnish defense really like to come forward. Both teams trying to get a change on the fly. We're in the second period here, still no score. Dolezal pumps that behind the goal, and Medved picks it up. His long pass looking for number 19, Volek, and again, offside is the call.
Both teams have had one period to talk it over. Nevesley giving his team encouragement.
David Volek takes his position out on the ice. Ruutu wins the draw. Tipped over to Rutinen. Rutinen fires it in. the far corner, and Serban gets there first. Serban has that bobble off his stick. The Finns pick it up, try to get it back to the point. They do, and keep it in along the hash marks. Some good stuff by Serban. Reznicek fires that all the way down the ice, and icing is the call. And of course, you cannot shoot the puck all the way down the ice if your team is at full strength. For those watching for the first time, that's icing, and the face-off, a sort of a penalty, is deep in your zone.
Mentioning those players coming home, Volek, of course, Paul, they just keyed in on him. He was with the New York Islanders all year. Of course, a team that's struggling in the NHL. Near the bottom, Robert Hollick, of course, another fine NHL player. Plays with the Hartford Whalers. Had 108 minutes in penalties, though. A little bit scrappy out on the ice this year in the NHL for him.
Reznicek taps that one forward, and the Czechs come now. Everyone is out over the zone, waiting at the far blue line. Going deep will be Numminen. Numminen loses control of that, eventually picked up by Suominen. The Finns breaking down the right side with Jyrki Luma. Luma spun out of the play. Reznicek taking his man out, eventually goes after him again, and we'll have a face-off this time in Czechoslovakian territory. Teams getting fresh legs out there about every 30, 40 seconds. They really don't want to go much longer than that, not when they're playing at this pace. The Finns would love something magical in this competition. They really haven't won anything since they started, and it would be nice to pick up your first medal in front of your home crowd. That's the kind of thing they're gunning for right now, as Mika Nieminen loses that draw, and the Czechs with the long pass whizzing by Jari Kurri goes all the way down the ice, and icing again is the call.
Well, all the talk about the Czechs as you get a good look at Robert Reichel, the young star. We've had a good season with the Calgary Flames this year, one of the top clubs in the NHL who have just been knocked out of the playoffs. Of course, it was in the 7th game to Edmonton, which meant that the Czechs will get Reichel back, but Edmonton's still playing, so Esa Tikkanen, one of the stars for Edmonton, is still in the NHL playing.
Mixed fortunes, it really does depend on who you play for, as that's tipped right out front, the shot. Kurri was there, there's going to be a penalty on the play.
Well, of course, Lynch asserting himself, good call, holding, you can clearly see that one. Number 9, his second penalty of the game. Slager working his way to the penalty box. Puts a grab on the player behind the net, spins him around. Cameraman's behind the glass right on it. Lynch is on the side of it. He's right on top of it.
So Slager will be in the box for 2 minutes, and the power play goes to Finland. Nieminen loses the draw again, but it eventually is tipped out as far as the blue line, and the Finns keep it in the zone. Back to the blue line with Luma. Number 9, Siren, is over on this side. Right in front, the tip. Järvenpää was right there, but so is Petr Bríza.
Järvenpää just looking to get that little tip on the puck, direct it past the goaltender. Bríza did well. Good concentration. He knows he's got a lot of action in front of him. The Finns are going to try and force that play to the front of the goal.
Nieminen will try his luck again, and this time he wins at the shot, wide of the target. Coming from Siren. Tap back into the zone by Järvenpää. Siren tries to bat it down and keep it out, but the Czechs break now. Kuchera going in. His shot takes a deflection, ends up in the crowds, and that'll be a souvenir for someone here in Finland.
Good defensive play. Hannu Virta just standing him up. Kuchera can be so dangerous in the one-on-one situations.
Jiri Kuchera trying to use the defenseman as a screen, let the shot go, but it took a deflection off the stick.
Of course, he's no stranger to Finnish ice hockey, as he plays in Finland with Tampere anyways. They get their looks at him during the season, and now they're seeing him with a red shirt on under a Czechoslovakian team.
So the Finns, Uttila dropping that one off, and the crowd getting behind the Finnish team, going in, and that is Dolezal bringing his man down. Salan was breaking down the right-hand side, and listen to the reaction from that crowd. They thought that should have been a penalty.
Well, they were desperately trying to call that one for the referee, but to no avail. Their whistles are not his whistle. His is the one that counts.
Uttila again pumps it forward. Keskinen on the backhand side, trying to get it out front. Back along the boards, picked up along by Numminen. Numminen tapping that forward. Keskinen is there. The Czechs maintaining that box. Numminen takes the shot. It trickles through. Breeza lost it. Now he gets a glove on it. Suominen is mixing it up right in front of the goal. The officials quick to react and jump in between the players before anything started. Let's see this again on the slow-mo.
Working it into the top, right in the middle, at the blue line. Big shot coming. Numminen really didn't get it all, but he was looking for somebody to direct it behind the goalie. There you can see the action in front. Resnicek, Suominen just saying hello, showing each other a little respect.
The sticks do have a tendency to go up, though, when the players clash head-to-head, and that can be dangerous. That shot over the boards, and we'll have another face-off.
That was a very quick souvenir for somebody.
That's not the kind of thing a spectator likes to see. It's bad enough when you're a goaltender and you see that thing coming at you at close to 100 miles an hour, but when you're a spectator innocently eating your popcorn and sipping on your beer, hey, good night. Uttila pumps that in along the boards. Salan gets it to the far side. Numminen, Salan hangs on to that, and it's still passed around by Finland. They've got the man advantage. You can see everyone is calling for it. Numminen to the far side, the shot tipped away with 9 seconds on the penalty. Keskinen slows it down, takes it into the circle. Numminen gives it back to Keskinen. The shot comes, and that takes a deflection. The Czechs are back at full strength, and perhaps the Finns took too long on the puck.
I agree. I was just going to say that, Paul. They waited and waited, worked the puck back. It's nice to be patient, look for the right shot, but Numminen really didn't do what he should have with that. Giving credit to the Czechs, they really maintained a good box, very well disciplined. Stayed in the box, the forwards kept pushing the defense out. Good action.
So perhaps the pressure now will be off the Czechoslovakian net as we look at this again. Salan, a great job of getting it to Keskinen. And we go back to the live action. The teams are back at full strength. The break now on for Czechoslovakia. And the Canadian referee letting a lot of that go. He's letting play continue. Zemlichka overskated that and eventually picked it up. Zemlichka tries to get it out front, looking for Petr Russell. Russell spun out of the boards by Henriksen. Reichel out there with Zemlichka. Reichel wants it, and he's got it. Reichel. Ruutu took a slash at him. High sticking is going to be the call. You can see the indication there from the Canadian referee. Lynch, as he skates backwards towards the timekeeper's bench. He's not having any of that.
Well, good job by Lynch. He's right on top of the play. He's never very far away from anything that's going on.
Well, it was interesting when Lynch went over to the penalty box, the timekeeper said, hey, which team, left or right? Let's see if we can pick this up. It's Russell right in front of the goal. Gets it for high sticking. It's something that was off the run of play, and Russell thought for a moment that he got away with that.
Oh, he sure did. Christian Ruutu was starting to go out of the circle toward the box himself because Lynch was right in his face when he made the call.
Well, I think everybody thought it was going the other way, but Russell will sit for two, and the Finns again will have the man advantage. Siren gets it over to the far side. Finland now breaking. Offside, the call right on the blue line. One too many white shirts trying to change direction as Virta talks it over with Jari Curry to see what went wrong.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. With Curry out there, they may work the puck low, let him handle it. He's such a heady playmaker, he'll probably do the right things down low. The previous power play, Matikainen's men were all trying to work it out to the blue line and take the long shot and look for tip-ins. Could be a change of strategy here.
Nieminen gets it over to the far side. The Finns now on the backhand side is number 9, Siren. Siren getting it behind the goal. Comes all the way back to Jari Curry. Jari Curry getting it over to the hash marks. Curry changing positions there with Vilsiren. Curry. All 5 players pushing forward. Siren takes the shot. It's in the net! Brise saying, hey, I didn't see anything at all. Possibly there was a tip on it, but these guys don't care. They're celebrating. That's number 1 for Finland.
Well, good puck movement. The Finns shot quicker this time. They didn't wait too long. I'm sure Matikainen had a word because of the last power play they had. From the point, number 9 with a big shot. Siren just directs it. You can see it coming toward the goal. There's bodies in front. Great tip. You can see the goal very clearly. Brise didn't have a chance.
So Finland 1, Czechoslovakia 0. And everyone focuses on Mika Nieminen, who plays for Tampere, 25-year-old star for the Finnish side. And they're going to love that.
Just what the crowd wanted, the home team to strike first. The Czechs are going to have to stay out of the penalty box.
Gudas flips it high over the cage. That stays in play, and Finland pick it up and start to move it out. Up along the boards, too far for anyone, as Gudas has to go deep into his own territory. He overskates that. Dolezal tried to pick it up and bring it out. He runs into trouble. Some good forechecking here from Salan. Salan kicking it along the board. Salan spun out of the play eventually by Gudas. But again, the Finns, this time it's Esa Keskinen, doing a great job of forechecking.
This goal has really lifted the Finns. The forwards are really on the forecheck, pressing hard, not letting the Czechs break out.
Dolezal takes his man out of the play, but the Finns come up with the puck. Suminen dropping it off. Numminen now on the backhand side, puts it behind the goal to Suminen. Keskinen to Suminen. They're all around that net, and Richard, we can see that they're setting up a pattern here. They got a man behind the goal. They're setting up the triangle, trying to work it from one side to the other and then behind the goal.
Absolutely, but we're even situation here. The Czechs seem to be standing around. They're going to have to move. They're not short-handed, but they're playing that way at the moment.
Hannu Henriksen, a rink-wide pass. Both teams trying to get the quick change as that comes out into the neutral zone. Just a clearance to get the teams out on the ice. Fresh legs as Volek is dumped in the neutral zone. Volek this time tries to pick it up. Play allowed to continue as Henriksen flips it into Czechoslovakian territory. Some good stuff from both teams. Non-stop action here in the second period. The Finns lead it 1-0. Schleger brings it out for Czechoslovakia. The pass up on the right wing to number 19, Volek. Volek goes in, takes the shot, and that takes the deflection off Rotunen. And that shot along the boards by Peltoma. Henriksen, Peltoma, the long pass to Ruutu. Ruutu beats his man into the corner and then takes a face into the plexi by Reznicek. And listen to the crowd getting behind these Finns.
Finns seem fired up. The Czechs looking a bit frustrated, not skating very hard at the moment.
One 0 the score here in the second period. This is live on Eurosport. Teppo Kivela losing the draw as Serban for Czechoslovakia. And the Czechs have had the definite advantage on the draws, but they're not making the most of it everywhere else on the rink. Russell gets it back. The Czechs bringing that in over the blue line. Offside is the call.
Well, they're just going to have to start getting themselves into it, dump the puck and chase, and help out back in the back, and come back and move the puck out of their zone easier. They've got to do something to break off this attack that the Finns are putting on them offensively.
Reznicek handed that one off to Serban. Serban runs into trouble. They really are hanging on to that puck too long. Zemlichka being forechecked out of his skates there along the red line. Reznicek to Serban. Serban gets help from Zemlichka, and it's stolen by the Finns. As we approach the 9-minute mark, the tip coming from Suominen right in front of the goal. Brise was right there, and that's going to be an offside call as Zemlichka went over, and there was a Czech player at the top of your screen who was camped out. He was already into his second hot dog.
Crowd really appreciating the performance they're seeing out of the home team. The Finns are all over them in that offensive zone. They are just forechecking them, taking the puck off them. Great opportunity a minute ago for Suominen. When the Czechs do break out, it's one player on his own. As you said, Paul Zemlichka all the way down the ice, nobody to play with.
Verta to the far side, being shadowed by Kuchera. That bounces off Kuchera's stick, and they'll do it again, this time with Nieminen. Batted down by Gudas and tipped into the neutral zone. Vlak looking for the long pass, and the Czechs again being forechecked into that neutral zone. They try to get the second pass. They make the first pass, they try to get the second pass, and there's usually a Finn there to intercept. This time it's Czechoslovakia running into trouble with a shot by Vlak, running into trouble with Curry, I was about to say, in the neutral zone. Vlak got a tip of that one, but Ketterer came out to make the save. Siren has a go at Kuchera.
Well, as we said, they all know Kuchera. He plays in Finland. Good job by Ketterer to come up with the save. That was a 3-on-1. Bit unfortunate for the Finns as Järvenpää and Nieminen had collided with each other at the blue line. Fleck unable to put that one behind Ketterer, though.
So the face-off in Finnish territory, with Radek Tupal doing the honors for Czechoslovakia. Keskinen picks it up, tips it forward on the wing, and gets it out of the zone. Batted back in, but only to be picked up again by Salan. Salan. Musil will go after Suominen. Suominen. Salan is there. He's got Keskinen. This line has worked wonders. Tap back to the blue line. It's kept in by Finland. And the pressure now on the Czechoslovakian goal. Musil tried to manhandle Suominen out of the play. Suominen eventually picks it up on the hash marks. Keskinen is there. He takes a chop from behind, but still hangs on to the play. Musil being spun around. Can't get a handle on the puck. Salan gets it right across the goal. It's there. And Brise comes up with it and looks up into the lights and said, what is going on around here? Where has everyone gone?
Starting to feel sorry for Raimo Suominen, though. He's been in front of that goal 3 or 4 times. There he is coming off the ice. He's going to have to be getting to him. He's going to see some of these chances in his sleep tonight. Once again, the forechecking of the Finns paying off. They're all over the Czech defense. Suominen camped out in front of that goal, just can't seem to put one behind Brise.
Hockey games are won in the corners, many coaches say. And right now, the Finns are winning the battle of the corner. Rotanen gets that out into the center ice zone. Reznicek pushes it back in for Ruutu. Ruutu to the far side. The return pass to Christian Ruutu on the left wing. Ruutu winds up, takes the shot, and that's wide of the target. That goes all the way back to the blue line, and you can see that Brise is just a little hung up.
Well, Peltema, a pretty big lad, going in for the rebound. It's not easy for the Czech defenseman to try and keep him off. The two of them go flying into Briza. He takes a swan dive. Bit of a belly whacker, actually. Splatters himself on the ice, and the net goes off its moorings.
Briza must be thinking, geez, not only do I have to stop pucks and sticks and everything else that flies at me, now I got to stop bodies coming at me about 20 miles an hour. Skates first, of course. They wouldn't have it any other way. Hollick drops that back, and the Czechs getting sloppy in their own zone. Järvinen squeezed out along the boards, tries to get some help from Ruutu. Reznicek muscles his man along the boards, trying to call for the face-off. And eventually the whistle blows. It's difficult to hear the whistles here. This crowd, so noisy. A lot of horns, a lot of whistling, some drums in the background. Everything is happening.
Finnish forwards just aren't allowing the Czech defensemen to tie them up. It's fun to watch. Their legs are moving constantly in the corners. The Czechs are trying to hang on, hold them, hook them, do anything they can. The Finns are fired up.
From the face-off, Leo Gudas trying to get a handle on it, still loose in the circle. The Finns eventually will pump it in. Tuomisto gets it into the corner, and Gudas kicks it away. Tuomisto trying to get away from Zemlichka. Kivela slows it down, gets it right in front. Suominen can't get the hand line, takes a shot. And how many times has that guy had the puck right in front of the net?
I keep feeling sorrier for him every time he comes out. He's got to get a goal eventually. Somebody's going to be trying to buy him one.
Numminen picks it up behind the goal, gives it off to Suominen. Suominen on the left wing, breaks into the center ice zone and tips it in deep into Czechoslovakian territory. Briza gets it by Kivela. The long pass batted down on the blue line, and Kivela will pick it up. Kivela hands it off to Luma. Luma taps it forward. Gudas will go in as Kivela goes in. And Gudas has words with number 13 for Finland.
Well, as I've been talking about, this Finnish offense just not willing to be held on to or checked out of the play. Kivela very aggressively went for that rebound. Big Luma on the blue line had done a good job to keep the puck in. Matty Kanen's really got the boys fired up. Gudas just trying to keep him away from the goal. Couldn't even touch him. He just doesn't want to know.
I'm sure Gudas will take his number. Nieminen, that's still loose. Nieminen trying to get the shot. Musil taps that away into the corner. Now it's Czechoslovakia with Kuchera running into a brick wall right on the blue line. 12.5 minutes gone here in the second period. 1-0 for the Finns as Kuchera turns and tries to pick that up. Some good stuff coming from Järvenpää as he fought hard against Kuchera to win that puck. Nieminen takes it over. Curry overskates that, and the Czechs now. Kuchera going in from a sharp angle, has that bounce off his skate, and the Finns quick to react to get that out of the zone. František Musil waiting for someone to pass to, decides to go deep into his own territory, runs into trouble. Keskinen, that goes off Musil's stick, as Keskinen had a great chance to get the shot away. Keskinen right in front of the net, and again, this time it's Järvenpää, but again, Richard, we see a Finn getting in behind the Czech defenseman.
We're really struggling for position. Järvenpää, of course, gladly coming to the bench now. He'd been out there a long time. His line mates had already left the ice. Found himself out there with Keskinen, and they almost combined for a goal.
Slegger doing everything possible to upset big number 26. Into the corner as Reznicek flips that along the boards, and the Finns still playing excellent forechecking hockey here, as they really do refuse to give the Czechs a chance to move in their own zone. Dolezal getting it back deep. Serban. Reznicek. Holick intercepted in the neutral zone now. Coming back, Salin. The roar of the crowd right in front, intended for Keskinen. The break now for Czechoslovakia. Lubina along the boards, really doesn't look like he wants to go anywhere. Roughed up heavily by Numminen. Numminen lost everything but his skates along the boards, but he stays in the play. The Finns come up and win the puck. Esa Keskinen brings it along the boards and gets it into the neutral zone. The tap forward to Salin. Gudas gets to him first, and Brise comes out and smothers that for a face-off. Great stuff from Finland.
Well, his look and whatever he's saying totally summarizes this game so far. The Finns very hungry. Good work. A little bit of WWF wrestling here. Lubina just trying to do what the Finnish forwards are doing at the other end of the ice. Fight off the defenseman and keep going. Well smothered by Numminen, but managed to get away from him.
Ruutu in the face-off circle. Loses that out as Gudas flips it along the boards. Gets manhandled by Peltonen. Reichel picks it up and slams on the brakes. Now Czechoslovakia under a lot of pressure here from the Finns in the second period. The Czechs trail by one. Petr Rossel over the blue line. Rossel flips it into the slot area. No one there to pick it up. And Czechoslovakia not being able to sustain any kind of forward attack in this second period.
Well, the Czechs constantly find themselves going backwards. The idea is to go forward. They just can't mount any kind of an attack. They're under extreme pressure all the time. That's just what this man wants to see. Matti Kainen, coach of the Finnish team.
This is just the first game of many that we'll be bringing you here on Eurosport. This is the Group A World Ice Hockey Championships live from Finland. And we're going to be with you right up until the very end. First week in May, if you can believe that, is when it ends. Some of you will have to come in off the beach to watch our coverage, but I assure you it'll be well worth it. 5 minutes remaining in the second period. There's the scoreline, 1-0 for Finland over Czechoslovakia. The Czechs now with Gudas tapping it forward. Reichel takes a shot wide of the net. That goes all the way down to the next blue line, or to the Finns' blue line. Kept in. Dolezal misses the goal. Rossel right in front. Dolezal took a swipe at it and missed it completely. Kivella, Teppo Kivella with Luma. Along the boards, Kivella now bringing it forward. Kivella running into problems with his own teammates as he tips that forward to Petr Brise. And Brise makes no mistake. Too much going on for him to shove that back out into play, so he calls for a face-off.
Well, a good look at Svoboda, the backup goaltender for the Czechs. Trying to encourage the boys on, wearing the deflector glove, patting the boys on the back when they come off the ice. I'm sure they feel that. Just trying to keep himself into the game.
Kuchera, Nieminen wins it. Suominen takes a shot. That's deflected high and out of play. The Czechs have been checked right out of this rink in the second period. And it'll be interesting to see what they do in the third. They'll have a 15-minute break to talk things over in about 4 minutes' time, and I'm sure that Stanislav Nevesly will have words with the Czechoslovakian side. They can't be too happy with their performance in this period. They've gone backwards as we take time out here to make a quick repair to the ice surface.
Well, somebody obviously spotted a hole on the ice. It can be very dangerous if a player hits that. What they'll do, they'll fill it in with snow, bring a water bottle off the bench, tap it down, push the puck over it, and there it is, just as good as new.
Getting set now for the face-off. Nieminen out there with Curry.
A lot of talent on this line. 15, 16, 17. Nieminen, Järvenpää, and Curry.
The coach's dream out there. Siren goes back. Siren squeezes his man out of the play, and the Finns again getting to that puck first. František Musil would like to have that all over again.
Very uncharacteristic of the Czechs to look this unorganized. There you can see Musil, he fakes it once. In the meantime, Kuchera and the right winger are well offsides. They're still going for a skate. And Musil then attempts to get to the blue line, sort of trips over the blue line, and they'll have to start over again. Crowd's very happy about that call.
He's probably saying, let's run that one back. I want to try it again. This time Musil gives it up. Nieminen punches that into the corner and then is brought down to the ice. Musil gets it along the boards, and the Czechs in all sorts of trouble here in the second period. Vlach on his own goes over the blue line, dropping it back. The shot wide of Ketterer's post. Musil pumps it back into the corner, and that goes all the way around past Kuchera. Nieminen overskated that. Kuchera got it over, and again offside as Dolana picked it up. And the Czechs, as you said, Richard, looking disorganized here in the second period.
Just can't seem to put anything together. They're struggling. They're not playing the neutral ice area very well, which is usually one of their strengths. That's a good call. It's easy for us to see when you're upstairs, but when you're right down on ice level, it's not an easy play to have to make, and that was just offsides. Lubina just over the line.
Robert Hollick against Esa Keskinen. Lubina gets it back to the defense, and Reznicek backhands it along the boards to Lubina. Lubina has it in the corner. Lubina is hammered out of the play by Utila, but the Finns again win the loose puck. Salan gets it over on the far side. Serban will race to this. Tapped away by Brise. Salan goes after it, but Serban picks it up. Serban along the boards looking for 25. Lubina goes as far as the hash marks and is tumped back in. The Czechs with Serban getting the pass from Gudas. The long pass up the middle. Lubina wants it. Salant is all over him, but Lubina hangs on to it. The chance now is Ketterer went down, really didn't have a difficult shot from Volek, but he had to make the save. Volek pumps it back into Finnish territory, and we'll have another whistle and a face-off on the play.
Both teams settling down. The Czechs actually broke out easier that time. They used the ice surface, made the long pass in the middle. They've got to get the Finns to ease up the pressure. The only way to do it is to try and stay close together, but keep one guy out a little bit higher. He was just inside the blue line and took the long pass. They've got to get this Finnish attack to break back, to be back off them a little bit.
Kept in there by Henriksen. The long shot just wide of the net, and Brise makes no mistake on the rebound off the backboards. You know, we're talking about this Finnish team shutting down the Czechs, but really don't count out the Czechs because they have the ability to make that long pass just before the blue line, the quick break, and of course you can see Reichel, Hollick, Volek at any time break for that net all alone.
Oh, absolutely. Matty Kanan, of course, is right on top of things like this. You can see him pumping up the defensemen every time they come off the ice. Look, let's not go for a sleep. We can't afford one mistake.
Ruutu along the board sees his pass deflected. Now the Czechs breaking forward, and the two-line pass is called. Boy, that must have been close.
Close enough not to be called, I would say. Robert Reichel not happy with the call. Still not happy, having a word, going over the linesman's head, trying to have a word with Lynch, the referee. He's got just cause to be arguing that one.
Well, there's no way that Lynch is going to reverse that decision. So Reichel may as well save his breath. He goes into the face-off circle as we look down upon this magnificent stadium here in Finland. They really have turned out in numbers here as Järvinen works his way along the boards with Ruutu. Still anyone's puck. Järvinen comes up with it. Tries to get it out front to Ruutu. Ruutu takes the shot, and Brise makes the save. Reichel slows it down as he stick handles behind his own goal, and again, the Czechs are under pressure. Reichel takes it over the blue line. Reichel picks up the loose puck now. Reichel tries to get to the side of the net, and he does. Dolezal eventually loses out, picked up by Kavela. The long pass goes nowhere, and the Czechs come back with Slegger getting it forward. Czechoslovakia now with 3 men forward. Musel's got a chance to shoot. He does. Ketterer steers that away with 1 minute remaining on the period. Musel again puts it back into the hash marks. Russell overskates that, and there's a fight behind the goal. Hannu Henriksson really didn't want to get involved. An intelligent move by him as he skated away from that.
Oh, there was a lot of niggling going on in front of the goal. Here you can see the action by the side of the net. Of course, Ketterer's in his goal, not even having a clue what's going on. Reichel had been out there a long time. Extra long shift. I'm sure he's a bit frustrated as well. Of course, having played with Calgary this year, he's had to defend himself more than once. Said he'd had enough.
Reichel, 2 minutes for roughing. Henriksson disappointed that he's there too.
Well, it takes two, and there was a lot going on in front of the goal. Henriksson was really manhandling Reichel. He didn't want to stand for it. The Czechs seem to have picked up the play. It can be so dangerous, as you once mentioned about a minute ago, Paul. The Finns have got to stay awake and not fall asleep in defense.
The Czechs have got the legs to go the distance, so don't count them out. They trail by 1. Kuchera loses the draw this time. Sidin. Hannu Virta. Curry into the neutral zone. Musel. Musel losing a bit of padding there as that comes over to the far side. 29 seconds now on the clock. A chance perhaps for just one team to get one shot away. Kuchera looking to be that player. They want to make it count. There goes the long shot. That takes a deflection, and we'll have another face-off with just a few seconds remaining on the period here. 1-0 the score. Finland in the lead over Czechoslovakia. Number 15, Nieminen, getting the touch on that shot from Siren from way back at the point in the second period to make it 1-0. Pentti Matikainen knows how important this face-off will be.
A coach's nightmare. A minute left in a period, you never want to give up a goal. Can change the momentum of a game so much, especially at this point in this game with the Czechs down 1-0. If they could score one here, I'm sure it would give them a big lift going into the final 20 minutes.
Volek trying to get it back. That's eventually tipped into the neutral zone by Christian Ruutu. Both teams playing it cagey here as Virta takes it deep with 4 seconds on the clock. That'll be it for this period. There goes the whistle to end the second period. And the Finnish fans will be happy with that.
Well, they're delighted. They've got the lead going into the final period. You can see the flags are going. Everybody's out on their way for a beer, or a popcorn, or a hot dog or something, but you know that their mind is on the game.
Well, we said earlier on in the period that the Finns were shutting down the Czechs in the neutral zone. What do the Czechs have to do now?
Well, the Czechs are going to have to mount more of an offensive attack in groups themselves, not just one man at a time. They're going to have to come down the ice and play the style of play that we're accustomed to seeing from them. Give and goes, work the puck wide, get more shots on Ketterer. It's been all Finns, and it's mainly been because of their aggressive forechecking.
Well, as you said, forechecking, I was pointing to Keskinen. He's one of the guys, number 26. He's been out there. Siren, number 9, and Salan, number 8. They've all been working non-stop while they're on the ice. 30, 40 seconds, and then that's it. They're off the ice. But while they're out there, they're giving 100%, and they really are tying up the Czechoslovakian defense as they try to bring it out of the zone.
That's right, and both teams have good power plays. I'm sure each coach is respecting that. They're going to tell the guys, we can't afford to take penalties in the final period.
There was no score in the first period, but in the second period, we saw Nieminen score for Finland, and that's how it stays right now as we get set to take a break and go into the third period. It's 1-0 for Finland over Czechoslovakia. We're going to take a break. Join us in a moment for the third and final period. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are live here on Eurosport. Czechoslovakia 0, Finland 1 here in the third and final period. And Richard, a prediction from you.
I like the Finns. I think that if they come out and do what Matty Kanan has had them doing the first two periods, they'll win this game.
A lot of time left. We have 20 minutes of non-stop hockey here, I'm sure. And it's still anyone's game.
Well, don't just say it's anyone's game, Paul. Let's get a prediction from you. What do you think?
Well, I got a feeling the Czechoslovakians are going to come back strong. I'm going to stick my neck out. Let's watch it, though, as the Finns bring it forward. They're playing from right to left, tipping it up on the wing. Still both teams with men in the penalty box. Schleger, just under a minute on those penalties. Kuchera takes that shot, and that goes off of Siren's stick and goes high, so we'll have another face-off. There's a man who can put the puck in the net from just about anywhere on the ice. Jiri Schleger. A lot of support here for Czechoslovakia as they start to get behind their team. Kuchera will do the honors for the Czechs. Christian Ruutu will face off for Finland. Ruutu wins this. Virta picks it up for Finland. Virta runs into trouble, eventually squeezes out over the blue line, and Ruutu drops it off. Coming down on the sharp angle, the rebound. Well, Curry took a shot from a sharp angle. Ruutu got it out eventually. Now the break is on for Czechoslovakia. 2 men forward, 2 men back. The fake shot. Block takes the shot. Ketterer is right there. Kuchera goes in for the rebound, and Ketterer hangs on to it.
Good job by Ketterer. Tested there. You can see how quickly the play can change. A good chance for the Finns at one end. The play breaks down. A great opportunity for the Czechs at the other end. Good look at the 2-on-2 that the Czechs had coming down. Kuchera right on the rebound. Of course, being covered by Virta. Not one there as Ketterer held on.
A long shot coming from way back at the point. The Czechs now starting to assert their authority. Gluck gets that back. Lubina takes a shot. It's weak and it's wide. 7 seconds gone on the penalty, or left on the penalties rather. Serban gets it right front. Lubina takes a shot. The net is wide open as Block was dumped to the ice, and that hit the post. Keskinen takes a shot, and Briza steers that into the corner. So Czechoslovakia, as I predicted, are bringing themselves right back into this game.
I hate to admit it when you're right, Paul, but they did seem to really put something together there, and earlier just about had a goal as well.
Well, as I said, this one is far from over. Reichel spun out of the plate. Finland pick it up now. I'm sure they're not going to stop skating. Salan all on his own on the right wing, on the backhand side. Now Salan trying to scoop it forward. He gets it right in front. Cermak comes up with the puck and shoots it forward all the way down. Henriksen touches it. Icing is the call. Some good stuff at both ends of the ice.
Well, ice hockey's a game of momentum, and last period the Finns were going up and down both ends of the ice really well. Very clearly you can see the Czechs are putting pressure on, and they're back checking extremely well at the moment. Really coming back and clearing the front of their goal and mounting an attack themselves, going the other way.
Czechoslovakia had a terrible second period. There's that shot coming off the post. Again from a different angle as we go back live. Briza sees that one into the corner. Henriksen got a piece of wood on that as that's held against the boards. Reichel got a tip to that. Dolezal will take it back into the zone. Medrick couldn't get it out as Gudas now gets on the ice and pumps it forward. There seems to be a bit more confidence and reasoning behind the play out there for Czechoslovakia. Reichel takes the shot, no problems for Ketterer. Reichel goes in after it. Ketterer steers away as number 13, Kivela, is taken out of the play. Luma mixes it up along the boards. Järvinen on the left wing taps it forward. Sleger bats it back to Gudas. Gudas to the far side. And Czechoslovakia now in the neutral zone, tapping it forward and looking for that quick change. Numinen. 1-0 the score, Finland over Czechoslovakia. Working right in, Suminen takes a shot, and that's another opportunity for number 25. Briza was right there.
Great save. Suminen still unlucky, really trying for a goal. Good pass from Kivela.
Delayed offside, eventually batted down. Suminen sees that one go off his stick. Briza will get to it first and clear it away. Sleger can't get the handle on that. That's tipped into the Czechoslovakian territory, and eventually they bring it out. Verta, the long pass for Kivela, and the offside whistle blows, and again we see players having words with each other. Nothing serious as they get the fresh legs out on the ice, but both teams still going at it off the play.
Once again, Kivela involved. Very clever forward. Good heads-up hockey player, just off sides. If he is on that one, it looked like his back skate was right on the line or very close to being behind the line. Oh well, he's not giving up. Kivela's really having a good game.
Incredible noise coming from both sets of supporters here in Tifon Stadium. Close to 12,000 people here, waving flags, blowing horns, beating the drum. The shot that trickles off the skate there as Järvenpää got a piece of that. Hollick now. Hollick loses it in the circle. That's right out front. And again, the shot didn't come. Volek lost control and brought number 16, Järvenpää, down to the ice. Play allowed to continue. Lynch waving off these tripping calls. Reznicek. A long shot. Ketterer steers that into the corner. Verta along the boards. And we have another face-off as the teams change their lines. And the fans here really appreciating what both teams are doing out there on the ice.
Oh, it's a very fast-paced game. A lot of holding away from the play, hooking. It's a good style of ice hockey going on out on the ice. Both teams will be getting changes real quickly as this game wears on. They want to keep fresh people on the ice. Dave Lynch doing a good job of letting the play flow. With a 1-0 game, you're not likely to want to call a stupid penalty and change momentum of the game.
Russell, a long pass up on the left wing. The return pass coming in. Reichel gets it right in front. Russell was there. Salan picks it up, tipping that forward. The Finns now breaking hard. Keskinen dropping it back to Salan. Briza picks up the loose puck with number 25, Suminen, waiting on the doorstep.
Remo Suminen just waiting for his lucky bounce. He hasn't had one yet. Good stuff from Teemu Salan. Another great heads-up ice hockey player. Just couldn't control that one. Had the tip on it. Worked so well with Keskinen.
1-0 the score here in the third period. Utila leaves that one go behind the goal. Russell breaking hard. Can't control that one. Taken out of the play by Utila. And the Finns now, with Keskinen on the break, squeezed out of the play. Salan can't get the hand on that, and Russell picks it up and put it forward. Reichel now will go after it. Reichel takes on Rotanen. That one bounced off the side of the net. Musil goes in. Rotanen looking for Suominen on the left wing. Eventually taps it forward too far for Ruutu. That goes over the red line, and we'll have a whistle for icing.
Now the Finns right in the middle of the line change. A little bit of communication gap there. No danger. They'll take the face-off, regroup, get themselves in order with fresh people. A good look at Ketterer. I'm sure he's feeling it, and he's a bit nervous, but he's in control right now.
Kuchera, Ruutu in the circle. The support from the fans is there for both teams. It's like a non-stop yell. It really is never-ending. Slager to the far side. They're doing the big finish wave as we approach the 6-minute mark in the period. Neither team looking to give anything away here in the third period. Peltonen got it back, chases after that, and that's bounced off the boards. Lubina, Dolanal, Suominen, Luma, Slager keeps it in. That's wide of the target. Dolana wanted to get the handle on that, and he couldn't. Slager gets a shot. That's an easy one for Ketterer to handle. And he sees that Kuchera is right there on his doorstep, so he hangs on for a face-off.
The face-off is better than a potentially dangerous situation. Ketterer once again heads up, saw that a couple players were trying to get a change. You never change when the puck is in your defensive zone, but they want to get the units out there that play together. Take the face-off. Matty Kanan will never have a problem with that.
A lot of chatter out there. Every man has an assignment. Every man has a place to go. Holick, Kivella. Kivella wins that one and gets it back to number 2, Teppo Numminen. He's played so solidly, but in front of goaltender Ketterer. The Finns now bringing it forward. A shot wide of the mark as Suominen goes into the corner against Serban. Serban falls to the ice. Kivella comes up with it, taps that right forward, and Vluck trying to get it over to the right wing. He eventually does, and Holick bats that in. Luma up on the boards quickly. Kivella, number 13. Kivella over the blue line, squeezed out of the play. Holick picks it up and gets it forward now. The Czechs back on the attack. Vluck slams on the brakes, lost control of the puck in Finland. And Luma takes a hit right in the center ice zone as Holick picks up the puck. The tip forward to 25, Lubina, goes deep. Siren for Finland. Jari Kurri, who's been quiet when you consider what he's done in the past in the NHL and in Italy. I think a lot of the fans were expecting more from him, but this game is not over. The shot, number 16, getting a piece of it, Järvenpää. Nieminen set him up, but Grise made it look easy.
Well, the Czechs seem to be skating better, but they can't leave the zone until they know the pass is on somebody's stick, and they're off and running together. They all seem to fly out of the zone. One man back, tries to make the long pass. That can burn you. Good anticipation by Nieminen. Cut the pass off. Fed Järvenpää. Got a good shot off. They can be dangerous situations. The Czechs are going to have to be careful.
Lynch telling the Finns that they should get themselves organized in this face-off circle. Some discussion as to who exactly is going to take this face-off. Siren taps it into Kurri. Järvenpää. Nieminen. Järvenpää. Oh, some great moves there. That's right out front. Kurri is there, and he takes a swipe at it. Just wasn't far enough to get the stick on it. Russell is brought down. Virta is complaining like mad. He just can't believe that that is a penalty.
Well, you can see Virta's reaction to that. He's the captain of the team, not overly enthused with that call. There you can see Russell, he's on the break. Stick does get between the legs, near the skates. It's a good move by Russell, that shows his experience. Take the dive even if you don't have to. The stick was there. Lynch has got to make a call one way or the other. It's probably not a bad call.
Power play situation now for Czechoslovakia. Rutu will take the face-off. Kuchera will be there for Czechoslovakia. Anxious moments for the Finnish fans as that trickles out and Schläger goes deep into his own territory. The return pass to number 9. Schläger along the boards now to Vlach. He drops it off. Kuchera to Vlach. Kuchera tapping it back to the blue line. A great power play so far from Czechoslovakia as Numanen bounces that off the boards down the ice. They really didn't set themselves up in that zone, and the Finns took advantage of it. Tuomisto, who finds himself out there regularly to kill off penalties, is doing a great job on the boards. Musil, back of the blue line, gives that one to Block, and Kuchera picks it up off the skate and tipped away again with 1:06 remaining on the penalty. Jarvenpa went deep, but Briza beat him to it. Kuchera, who's been out there for well over a minute, loses control at the blue line, and the Finns slowly tap it down the ice. Both teams getting a change of personnel as Lubina takes it into his own zone and starts to bring it out. Lubina. Vlach going in on the backhand side. He's got Lubina. Musil takes the shot wide of the target. The rebound comes out. Czechoslovakia setting it up slowly now. The box is there for Finland. František Musil pumps it into the hash marks. Lubina. Vlach. The shot. High and over the net, and that goes all the way down into Czechoslovakian territory.
Well, the supporters say it all. They're doing a good job killing it off so far.
Rutu running interference on Hollick with 6 seconds now. Bolek trying his best to be the first to that puck, but Rutinen was there, and he shoots it all the way down the ice. Both teams are back at full strength. Good effort there by Finland to kill off that penalty. Icing is the call.
Well, Neves Lee, you can see, is not too impressed with the power play he just saw his team put on. They've got a long way to go. They need a goal badly. That was a prime opportunity to pull one back. Some good extra effort out there from Jarvenpa on the penalty kill, though. An excellent job from him.
I've often criticized the Czech power play because they've taken too long. The shot is on Ketter. They've taken too long to set it up before they get the shot away, but right now they're not even setting it up. Briza off the boards. Dolezal tipping that forward. Reichel tries to get it out front, intercepted nicely by Numanen. And that's lazily punched into the neutral zone. Medrick goes deep. Keskinen brings it right in for scores! Richard, we said that this guy was one of the key forecheckers on the team, and there you have it. He's in the right place at the right time. Let's look at this again.
Well, it all comes down to a team sport and a team effort. Raimo Suominen has had many opportunities and hasn't been able to put one away. He creates this by putting pressure on. A lazy pass off the boards from the Czech defenseman goes right to Keskinen. Cuts in sharply, makes a great move, keeps the puck low. Breeze is coming across, not settled for the shot. It's by him for a goal. That's got to be a big one for the Finns.
This place has gone wild, it really has. This is the kind of thing they came to see. Well, I thought for a moment the Czechs were back in the game. They had hit the post. They were doing everything but putting the puck in the putting the puck in the net. But the Finns have struck here in the third period. They lead by 2-0. Henriksen to the far side. Jari Kurri gets that out into the neutral zone. Schläger picks it up, takes the long shot. Offside is the call. And right now the Czechs are in trouble.
They're scrambling. They don't seem very sure of themselves. They're not getting the quality shots that they were. And this goal seems to have fired up not only this crowd, but more importantly the Finnish team. They're playing with all kinds of confidence. Matti Kainen on the bench never changes his expression. He's done a good job with this team.
Czechoslovakia working that into the zone with Vlach. Musil now tying it up along the boards, pushing that one free. And you can see how many white shirts are in that neutral zone as number 20 Vlach goes in there, tries to get it out to Kuchera. Intercepted right on the circle. Suominen gets it over. Some good stuff from this line. Kivela is waiting out front. Some rough stuff along the boards. Kivela eventually scoots that around the back of the net, but Schläger picks it up for Czechoslovakia. The break now with Kuchera trying to get a handle on it, and he just couldn't reach the puck. Luma up onto the right wing. The shot. Brise makes it look so easy when he grabs that puck out of the air with that glove. He really has an excellent glove hand.
Raimo Suominen still going at it up and down the ice. The game really has opened up. It's wide open. Here you see Suominen coming down. He's on his off wing. Still snaps a pretty strong forehand wrist shot off there. Brise with a good glove save.
Kurri waiting for that rebound right in front that didn't come. 12:04 gone in the final period. Some good forechecking from the Finns. How many times have I said that? That's been the key to their success so far. Virta. Kurri. Not a good clearance from him. Bounces back. Number 16, Järvenpää, being tied up along the boards. Play getting a little sloppy along this side of the rink. Virta. Out over the hash marks. Flips that into the neutral zone. And Czechoslovakia happy to dump it back in. Siren squeezing his man out of the play. The Finns now bringing it back. Every time they touch the puck, there's a roar from the crowd. Kurri along the hash marks is taken out of the play. Volek giving it up along the boards. Hollick pushes that behind. Looking for number 15 right out front. Dolezal, the pass didn't come. Gudas takes a swipe at it and misses it completely. Right in front, eventually number 6 there, Medrick got a skate to it. Russell picks it up now and starts to move forward. Russell gets up ahead of steam. Russell all on his own, slams on the brakes, looking for someone to pass to, looking for Reichel, and they just couldn't connect. Some good stuff by Russell as he's trying to get his team back into the game. Russell this time gets it right out front. That's picked up by Gudas. Gudas. Reichel is slammed to the ice. Right out front is Dolezal, and he couldn't get a handle on it. Keskinen punches that forward, and some rough stuff right in front of the timekeeper's bench as play picks up. Play allowed to continue. The fans calling for a penalty. It doesn't come as Medrick gets it into the neutral zone. Järvinen. Salan gets by Medrick. Medrick ties his man up along the boards and will have a face-off. Some great action from both teams here. They really are starting to hit.
Well, the game has opened up, but it's all go, end-to-end action. Both teams are playing the body well, not wanting to give an inch, but things are happening. There's good opportunities for both teams.
The Czechs trail this one by 2, and they've got to do something soon. Kuchera and Rutu will face off against each other. This time it's Kuchera who wins it. The long pass up on the wing goes right down to Ketterer. That goes over the red line. No whistle on the plate. Play allowed to continue. Oh, good pass as Rutu gets it up on the far side. Rutu will get the return pass, picks it up on the backhand side. Rutu flips that one in behind the net. Too strong for Järvinen. Brise watches that go by the cage, and now Czechoslovakia try to bring it out. The Czechs seem totally disorganized in that neutral zone. A lot of them are being caught flat-footed, aren't they?
Well, they're not skating away from the play like they normally do. The man with the puck is the only one skating.
Reznicek with 5 minutes now remaining on the clock. Holek wanted that return pass. Lubina picks it up for Czechoslovakia. Lubina trying to get something going for the Czechs as Holek now takes the shot. Ketterer kicks that away. A long shot coming from number 5. Reznicek was weak and wide. Numanen picked it up and got it out. Kivela slows it down into the neutral zone, waits for support, and flips it into Czechoslovakian territory. Brise gives it off, and the Czechs looking for the long pass. See Reichel taken right out of the play in the neutral zone. Some good stuff from Finland as they show too that they can throw their bodies around. Virta, the long pass, ends up on Brise's doorstep. Rosso looked for that pass from Gudas, it was too far from him. The high shot there from Dolezal is caught nice by Ketterer, and Siren mixes it up with Dolezal.
Well, Ketterer's in control. He's looking up at the clock. Another save for him. He'll take the face-off. Just wants to keep this game well in tune. Nice save. Just hold on. Finnish defense are doing such a good job of taking the body and taking the man out. Bit of high sticking there. Just letting Dolezal know that if you want to go for the rebound, you're going to pay the price.
Well, I'm sure Dolezal will be picking a few splinters out of his body at the end of this one. The shot coming from Rosso was so close. Virta for Finland. Virta tapping that one forward. And number 27, Reichel, trying to move back into the zone. He's taken out of the play just over the blue line. Coming back onto the attack now. Right in front, Curry. Oh, and a great save by Brise. Jari Curry was robbed as he went on the backhand side. And that could have put the game on ice. Järvenpää trying to get it out front. Dolezal eventually gets it as far as the blue line. Rosso saw that one go behind his skates. Medrick to the far side as the Czechs try to change on the fly. Rosso comes off. Volek goes on, and that is tapped down by Teppo Numanen.
Well, the play's still going wide open here. Good stuff, back and forth. Both teams changing quickly.
The Finns, well, that's got to be an offside. He picked that up on the other side of the blue line. And the Finns are getting very, very physical in the dying minutes of this third and final period. They lead it by 2 over Czechoslovakia.
Lynch in control of the game. He's done an outstanding job refereeing, using his judgment, using his experience. Here you can see the coach, Nevesley, trying to get this club going. So easy to talk about Jari Curry, but what a move by Nieminen earlier. 2 moves on the defenseman, fed him so beautifully. There's so much talent on this ice from both teams.
Both teams still fired up for this one. The face-off just outside the Finnish blue line. Kuchera, who really has put in a lot of ice time, lost that one that time, and Musil will go deep for Czechoslovakia. Selene was all over him, but Musil got the pass away, and the Czechs now come back on the attack. The pass up for Schleger is too far from him. Utila gets that into the neutral zone. Schleger picks it up and shoots it back in. Timo Utila bangs that off the boards. That goes all the way down the ice. Icing is waved off. The Finns trying to get fresh legs out on the ice, and the Czechs now bring it forward. Musil takes the long shot. Ketterer makes the save. Henriksen picks it up now. The Finns have really slowed it down as Ruutu got it at the blue line. Ruutu put it over to Järvinen. Järvinen is squeezed out of the play by Hollick. Finns eventually come up with that loose puck as we come up to the 2-minute mark now. That shot. Järvinen fanned on the attack now. Finland right out front. The shot there. Brise will watch for him to come out of his cage. Will the Czechs do that when they trail by 2? That shot was wide of the target. Still enough time to score 2 goals right out front of the goal. Hollick was there with the pass, but the shot just didn't come. Järvinen down on the right wing. He'll be happy to keep it in Czechoslovakian territory as the clock ticks away here with just a few seconds now remaining. 2-0 the score. Can the Finns hang on? This is the first game in the Group A competition. The Finns are playing before a packed crowd here in Turku. Reichel got it forward. Hollick shoots it in. Ketterer gives it off. He wants to keep that clock moving. Numa flips that down the ice. He's happy to see possession at the other end of the rink. Reznicek, 1 minute now remaining on the clock.
Well, the Czechs have got to go for it here. Be watching for the goaltender to come out. The Finns, of course, just want to keep the puck moving and keep dumping it into the zone.
Jari Kurri being checked a couple of times there in his own zone. He seems very relaxed, possibly too relaxed. Just a few seconds now as Kuvela shoots that down the ice, and this man must be very pleased with his team's performance. The crowd already on their feet with 30 seconds now remaining. The long shot coming from Reichel. That took a deflection, and so we'll have a face-off, but the fans here in Turku are already celebrating. They're arguing right now, Richard, about where this face-off should be.
Well, Hanno Virta, the captain, just having a quick word to make sure that the linesman knows where that puck hit the Finnish defenseman. That should be the point where the face-off is. It was deflected by the Finnish defenseman over the plexiglass. Very critical situation where that face-off will be. The Finns, of course, don't want it too deep in their own zone. 30-second timeout has been called. I would have to think both teams are just going to relax, talk it over. The Finns, of course, they want to make sure defensively that they're all set. I'm sure that's why Matty Kanan said, look, we'll take the timeout. Let's think about this. We're up 2-0. Everybody pick up a body.
He's going to go with this one last shift, and this 30-second timeout will help those players get the much-needed rest. The Czechs will use it too to put together some strategy, but I feel for them it's a bit too late.
Well, it's late, but you never know. If they get a quick one, anything can happen.
That's true. There's the time gone in the period, and there's where the face-off will be. Kuchera, who is so adept at taking the face-offs, will do it for Czechoslovakia. Nieminen got it back. The break is on now. Ruutu looking for that loose puck. It didn't come. 15 seconds now on the clock. Dolana to the far side. Offside is the call with 11 seconds on the clock.
Well, this crowd is anticipating what they've wanted. An opening win for their team. It's a big one, of course. The Czechs are always in the running for medals. Finns have got to be happy with their performance today.
Just a couple of seconds now on the clock. The Finns have won this one. They'll take it down, shoot it into the zone. There goes the buzzer to end the game.
An opening round win, and more importantly, Paul, you were a goaltender. It's a shutout for Marcus Ketterer.
Ketterer will enjoy this one as all the Finnish players go back and congratulate him. A flawless performance. Taco is there to tap him on the heads and say, well done, son. You really did deserve that. And what a way to start for the Finns. The Czechs, of course, look disorganized at times. I'm sure they'll pull their act together and get back into the contest.
Absolutely. It's very seldom do you ever see a Czech team shut out. The Finns have got a lot of congratulating to do. I'm sure they're happy with Ketterer, but it's early going in this tournament. There's a long way for them to go.
A clever performance then by Finland. Matikainen, an integral part of that performance. He really did close down the Czechs in the neutral zone.
Well, they took the game away from him, and as we've said all along, the forechecking was such a key. So instrumental in the Finns overcoming any kind of an attack the Czechs were going to mount.
So the teams line up now on the blue line to accept the award and to listen to the national anthem of Finland. Nieminen scored for Finland in the second period. Keskinen made it a sure thing in the third period. 2-0 the final score as the teams slow things down just for a moment. I'm sure they're going to be celebrating like crazy tonight. We're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back to sum things up. But just for the moment, we're going to go away. Join us in a moment. We'll be right back.